Back here on the bonus round on GameTrailers.com with Michael Pachter, Michael McWhirter, and Garnet Lee. We've gone through the typical entrants in the console and software space for the holidays. Now we are going to turn to a new one who is only doing some beta stuff this fall, but it's the Steam machines from Valve. Long rumored, they finally a few weeks ago announced three things: the Steam OS, the Steam machines, and their fancy new Steam controller. Let's start with you, Michael McWhirter. Are you excited about what Valve's talking about here?
Sure, I'm super excited. I mean, you know, I love Steam. I love Valve's games in particular. I love the services that they provide.
Yep.
You get some really great deals through Steam. They're always at the forefront of adding new and interesting features that people like Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo pretty blatantly copy.
Yeah.
And it's usually to our benefit. In terms of Steam Machine, I'm a little concerned about the message that they have in terms of, you know, we're going to have a Linux-based box that you put in the living room that streams some games from your PC or your Mac, but you can also got these other games that are Linux games that run on the machine. And like, you know, what's that argument? Like, why would I pick up a dedicated box that could be $300 to $800? We have no idea how much it's going to cost because a bunch of people are making it, and that further confuses the message a little bit. You know, what's the real benefit to me for buying that? Is it Half-Life 3 that they're finally going to release next year? And
Do we know this is a fact?
Is going to be a compelling argument for me to pick up a Steam machine and a Steam controller? Like, why would I want to do that? I mean, like, I can see it. I would like to play a lot of Steam games that are only on the PC on my living room TV, but I could go do that now. Like, what's the point? Why do I want to do that? And I think that that's what they still have to answer. I think that, you know, when Steam itself was released, we didn't really see the value proposition in the software. It seemed like more of a hassle, but now it's really grown into a very useful, you know, popular service. And you know, that may take 10 years for them to figure out what Steam machine is going to be in the living room, but it's going to be an interesting ride.
Is this, from a business perspective, Michael, do you think is this going to be disruptive when this comes out?
I don't, unless they do something bold, like tell you if you want to play Half-Life 3, you got to do it on a Steam machine, and you have to use Steam OS.
I can't imagine that.
And they're not going to do that.
No, I don't either, because I think they'll sell 25 million copies of Half-Life. But if money doesn't motivate them, if greatness motivates them, then that's the way I think that they sell it.
Right.
I mean, they have a potential to have Half-Life 3 be their halo and turn their Steam box into a brand. I don't think they'll do that, and I'm with you. I'm not sure why I need it.
Or which one you even need.
Yeah,
and I wonder how many people there are like me out there. So, you know, I think I'm sort of a unique case in that I used to be enough of a PC enthusiast that I built my own machines for forever. Always built my own machine. And I got to the point this last time around that I was like, you know, I'm just going to buy an off-the-shelf gaming rig. I bought it from a good builder. It was hardly any more expensive than what it would have cost me to put it together. But that puts me in the same position of now, I think that it would be really cool if I could have some sort of inexpensive device to put underneath my TV to get all those games, to use big picture. Because I have this big hunkin' box, and I'm not going to put it over by my entertainment center. But how many people are there like me? Because I think that most people who have that big honkin' box are also the people who are, you know, technically savvy enough that they'll figure out how to get big picture running on their TV, whether it's a long HDMI or they pull it over there and build an HTTP PC or whatever they do, that they don't really need a Steam box. I look at Steam box and go, yeah, sure. If it's a couple $300 and I can put it underneath my TV and use that stream functionality, great. That would be a compelling thing for me. If it's more than that, if it's trying to be a, hey, I really want to run games on Steam OS, I think that even with Steam, even with Valve being as strong an engine as they are, trying to drive up we're going to put another OS and we're going to get a whole line of publishers behind us on this train and go up the hill against Windows is a really big challenge.
Yeah. Now, they've talked about the controller. None of us, I don't think, have gone hands-on with it yet. But I mean, is that going to be interesting or different?
It could be interesting to see what kind of games, you know, you can actually play on it. Like, if you can play Dota 2 on that thing, and that game for free.
But would you want to play Dota 2?
Well, right, that's
the bigger
point,
question, right?
I mean, like, can you possibly compete with the people who play Dota 2 on PC with mouse and keyboard on that device? That remains to be seen. You know, the developers who have played with it and have talked about it, talk about how good the fidelity is, and even though it's an unfamiliar experience, they seem to really be behind it.
It's something different, and I think, as you guys have said, Valve's got to show what's going to be unique or different about this. But Steam is a massive platform on the PC. I mean, the sales they do and sort of the business side of it is very successful. And I think that's the thing that, if anything, it's going to sort of scare the other console players into really getting their sort of online marketplaces in a much better spot.
And I think Garnet said it right. I mean, this could be a 10-year project.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter how they do out of the gate. If they have a vision in 10 years that there are no consoles, every game is a PC game, every game flows through the internet to your TV,
Right.
through this little box, that works for me.
What did we think of Steam when it first launched?
Right.
I mean, there are some very good forward-looking people there who know what they're doing,
Right.
and they have defined the digital marketplace for games so far.
No, it's exciting to think that that's going to. I mean, Valve certainly has the capital and the backing.
And by the way, they could say Half-Life 3 will launch on the Steam box and will
Right.
come out a year later on PC and console,
Right.
and
be
they'll only
brutal.
sell 10 million Steam boxes while everybody else
So
waits.
is that? I
So-
mean, do you think in the we're entering this new generation? It used to be Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. We'd always talk about. Is it now Sony, Microsoft, and Valve? I mean, there's talk. Will Apple do something? I mean, do you think is there going to be another sort of entrant that's going to emerge over the next few years here?
The other guys, other than Oculus Rift, I mean, the other guys are all mobile games, getting a mobile game to your TV, so it's Ouya type jam, not jammed out. Shoot.
Game Stick? Or?
Game Stick, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a Game Stick. I don't know where I got jammed that on. Jasper, I'm thinking Jasper. Jasper Smith is the
Yeah,
guy. So
but-
it's that. No. Valve is the only company audacious enough to actually think they could take on Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo and win.
Right.
And they actually can, but they're not going to the first go around.
All right, guys, we're going to be right back here in the bonus round.